Hey, welcome back everyone to another episode of Boilon's roster review series, and today we have a roster review for 2 Eazy. So we have about 4.3 million TCP or so and 350 days played, and somewhere in the ballpark of $1,000 spent on this account so far. And in terms of focus for the roster review, I believe we're going to be looking at Doom War Chapter 2 and 3 usable characters, so we'll have to keep that in mind as well as a broader review of the roster to see what I think might be missing or should be leveled. And I do want to apologize for not actually being on screen for this one. I had to get a few videos done and dusted while Loki was asleep, but didn't want to pull up my green screen and wake him up. But let's get this started anyways, and let's start from the bottom of the roster like we usually do. So I will keep in mind the characters that you do need to do for Doom War Chapter 2 and 3. Let's start here at the bottom, and who do we have? So these are the characters that are yet to be unlocked. Phoenix, unfortunately, hopefully you get Phoenix on the next pass, because that's going to be a very important character for Dark Dimension 3 and 4 in the future, if you haven't already, for Dark Dimension 3 anyways. We do have Nick Fury not unlocked, rather, but, you know, frankly, you're probably not missing a whole ton. I don't think there's a huge recommendation for him these days, so not really that big of a deal. Red Guardian 5 red stars, that's actually really nice, and I know that this screenshot might be a week or so old, or a little bit old anyways, so hopefully you do get a chance to unlock Red Guardian. He is a really solid drag and drop character, and I think that he'll be, even if you're not using the Skilletary team, I think that he'll still be quite useful in the days and weeks and months to come, because his kit's actually quite good, and with the Sponton, of course. So Yelena Belova, 1 red star, unfortunately. What do we have? So Fantastic Four, I see a lot of this at the bottom, and that's the first thing that I want to point out, because on Doom War 3.6 to 3.4 to 3.6 is Fantastic Four usable, and I think that's actually probably the best way to go through it. It's Avengers and Fantastic Four. I used a combination of Fantastic Four, and I believe Nick Fury, interestingly enough, although you don't have to use him. You could use other, maybe like Black Widow or Cap or something like that. But realistically, I think the Fantastic Four with Invisible Woman are probably your best bet for those nodes. You also have decent-ish red stars, so I think that's something you might want to consider in the near future, is bringing up your Fantastic Four. And you have 5 for Thing, actually, that's pretty good. I just saw that right there. Very solid war team, anyways, in the war offense, so definitely worth bringing up. I think that you should consider that at some point. Otherwise, this is pretty common, you know, Kree minions, all these other trashy characters at the bottom, so don't feel too bad about that. Nothing really. You got the stars in M'Baku, of course, but that's probably for Chaos Theory. You don't really need to bring them up if you don't want to. Okoye, same thing for that. Unfortunately, you got 5 red stars on Okoye. I don't know if they'll ever get a rework, but that was, yeah, they're the most disappointing Wakandan characters. Other than that, the bottom part doesn't really look too bad here, so let's move on to the next photo here. And Rescue. So the only reason I want to point out, and actually I see most of your power armor for that matter, actually, War Machine, Ironheart, Rescue, maybe there's some more further. So I want to point out that for Doom War 3.7 to 3.9, which is the Taskmaster section of Doom War, the best characters that you can probably use for that, and I think probably the easiest ones, actually are Power Armor. And your red stars are actually pretty good. Power Armor can also be used as Powertron with Ultron to also counter Marauders. Marauders, which is quite a common combination. You could leave Iron Man out. He's probably the weakest link of that, and when you go through Doom War 3.7 to 3.9, you actually don't need Iron Man anyways, so if you are considering bringing them up, I would definitely do that. Rescue can also be used on Doom War 2.9, this particular node here. That's the Proxima Midnight unlock node, and you can use Rescue as a support character for that, alongside other members of the Black Order. If you don't have a full Black Order, because you can't use Thanos, because Thanos technically isn't Black Order, because I believe it's Black Order, Power Armor, and one other trait. So if you do have Ebony Maw, which you must, because I didn't see him I didn't see him not unlocked, you can use Rescue for that, or someone like Falcon as well for Doom War 2.9. So keep that in mind. But in general, I would consider leveling up the Power Armor as well. You got some pretty good red stars. You got 444, and wherever else your other characters are as well. So that doesn't look too bad there. Let's scroll up a little bit more. Nothing really too surprising here. Looks like you've invested in probably the right characters for the time. Obviously, you don't want to waste too much of your resources on characters that are kind of outdated, that really aren't going to provide you with much importance, I suppose, event-wise and all that. Shatterstar and Longshot, wherever they are. Longshot's over here. 5-star Longshot, that's pretty impressive. I would consider, don't, you know, sleep on them. Shatterstar and Longshot, I think when X Factor comes out, when they release more characters, they're going to be a very, very solid team. I think they could possibly be one of the more meta teams in Marvel Strike Force once they release more characters for X Factor. For Shatterstar, you might want to, since you have 5 stars, I would even consider down the line when they do get online, you know, buying red stars for him, possibly if you don't find them in the orbs by then. Because Longshot and Shatterstar are really fun to use, just the two of them. I know they're not used for any super meta reasons at this point, but I think they will be down the line, so keep an eye on those. And otherwise, your Iron Man's here. 5 red stars for Iron Man, but really you don't need to gear him up. I would actually rather put your gear from Iron Man, instead of Iron Man, put him into the other power armor down below and get them up a little bit further. And, you know, for Do More 3.7 to 3.9, you actually don't need them that high. You know, like, you don't have to go all the way to tier 12. You can get, like, tier 10, 11, and that was good enough for me to get through that node. But power armor is still really good to bring up anyways. The rest here isn't all that surprising, so we're going to move on to the third screenshot here. Magneto is a bit low, but, I mean, if you're not really focused on leveling up Brotherhood, then that's not really a huge deal anyways. Let's flip over and start at the bottom. We have Red Skull. Now, I do really like Red Skull in combination with the Baron Zemo team, so you don't actually need to use Red Skull. You can use Red Skull offensively with Baron Zemo in war. You don't have to use the Red Skull minion team, because really at this point, who wants to gear up, you know, 4 to 5 minions, you know, with Red Skull for a team that can be easily dismantled either by Zemo himself or through Black Bolt really easily. So yeah, consider Red Skull using him alongside Baron Zemo as a 5th, though. That'd be or, you know, whatever characters you don't have, because I actually saw that you didn't have crossbones anyways. But Red Skull and Zemo could make a really good combination, and they do make a really good combo. See, your Supernatural is a bit on the low side. That's not really a huge deal at this point. There is rumors, of course, down the line, maybe in some part of 2021, we might see some characters coming to that team. Moving up, 5 Red Beast. I guess that was from the previous milestone. Getting ready for that Astonishing X-Man and that Jubilee, you know. And, let's see, Electro, that's good. So maybe you're building up your... I haven't seen Doc Ock yet, so he might be a little bit higher up. So maybe you're building up to that. Inhumans, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, in terms of Do More, what you're probably missing, really it's just Black Order, Power Armor, and Fantastic Four. Probably your symbiotes as well. Here, Swarm and Electro, yeah, so I really love the Doc Ock Sinister Six team, and I've kind of banged on about this a lot in my own Discord channel and things like that. I really love the team, so another really solid team to invest in. And if you get them high enough, actually, they can punch up against Black Order, and depending on what the punch-up margins are, you can actually, you know, at least kill a few members, depending on how high you're punching up. They perform really well, and I really love that team, so definitely worth an investment. And I don't see Doc Ock yet, so I'm assuming he's higher than this. And I see your Invisible Woman here, so yeah, if Invisible Woman got to about tier 12, and then you brought the other members of the Fantastic Four up to tier 11, tier 12 as well, that would really help you get through some portions of Do More Chapter 3, so do keep that in mind. Nothing really too outstanding here that is worth mentioning. 5 Red Doctor Strange, that's nice if you ever, again, if that Supernatural team becomes more important down the line. And let's flip 6 Red Heimdall. Wow, okay, that's unfortunately he's kind of like the weakest member, or not yeah, he's like the least important member of the Asgardians. He's just kind of there for his passive, unfortunately. But yeah, let's move on to the main page, which is your final page of your roster, and we're gonna flip down to the bottom first. Mysterio, Rhino, 5 Red Mysterio, that's nice. I kind of wish I had that. And then I see Falcon as well. So Falcon, this will be good for Do More 2.9 alongside the rest of your Black Order, which should be fine for that node. But I would recommend bringing up, like I said, the rest of the power armor for Do More 3.7 to 3.9, which is the Taskmaster lane, or section of the chapter. So that might be worth bringing up. And Shuri as well, I believe, is usable in Do More 3.7 to 3.9, so you can use her alongside the other 4 members of the power armor. You don't have to use It's technically hero tech, not power armor. So you can use all the power armor characters are hero tech, and you can use the 4 of them minus Iron Man with Shuri, and that's what I used in order to clear the Taskmaster node. I believe it was around 300k or so, so keep that in mind. And then really just bringing up the rest of your Black Order, because really Black Order is the main arena meta. I think I see that to be the case for some time to come. So I don't know where your progress is in Dark Dimension 3. I don't. Once we scroll up, maybe we'll start to see that. So I see Corvus Glaive, Proxima, Cull Obsidian, Ebony Monster up here. So we got some T14 characters. I'm just bypassing your symbiotes a little bit here. You got T12 Scream, that's good. 5 red Scream, that's actually really good. And you're building up Doc Ock, Anti-Venom's tier 13. So we have, in terms of, we're at the very top here now. So let's check out tier 14. We have Baron Zemo, Ebony Maw, Minerva, Carnage, Emma Frost, Hela, Ghost, Thanos, Symbiote Spider-Man. And so this is quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Venom 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 T14 characters. So this is pretty good. So let's start at the beginning. So for global, we have Emma Frost, Ghost, Sinister, Zemo. I think that's it. So that's 4 characters there. So that's pretty good. I would recommend using Phoenix as your 5th member. That sounds like you're probably already through a good portion of Dark Dimension 3 already. Maybe you'll have Phoenix by your 2nd pass. You don't necessarily need her because you have Ghost. Ghost is also really helpful. But if you had both the combination of Phoenix and Ghost, it's just such a big double whammy, and you'll have an easier time getting through those nodes. Now, in terms of Cosmic, we have Thanos, Ebony Maw, Minerva, and Hela. So this is actually really good. So these 4 are really good. You probably don't even need any more for your first pass, but for your second pass, I would consider bringing up the rest of your Black Order. Probably Proxima first, and then Cull Obsidian, and then just kind of use the characters that you have for the Cosmic Lane the second time. And then for City, I see Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Carnage. Really, you could actually just clear with that, but if you wanted to bring up either Anti-Venom or Doc Ock, Scream is also a really cheap choice for gearing as well, so any of these 3... Actually, sorry, you have Venom. I keep missing this for some reason. So you actually have everything that you need. So it looks like your Dark Dimension 3 teams are actually pretty much done. So in terms of Dark Dimension 4, I don't know if this is really something that you're thinking about, but a lot of these characters you can really bring anyway. So if you've seen any of my Dark Dimension 4 footage by this point, then you would know that Thanos, Ghost, Sinister were part of my starting characters. So these are very good choices to start with. Cull Obsidian also was part of my choices down here, another good one later on. You do have 5 yellow, so get a 5 red on that and you'll be golden. And then yeah, you have some really good characters. There's really not much I can really comment too much on, but I would consider when you're done Dark Dimension 3 for the second time, there's a couple of characters I would consider bringing up. And you have a 7 red Ghost Rider, and while he's not the most meta character right now, I think he could be later. So I would maybe even consider, I have the rule of 7. So if I get a 7 red star on a pretty decent character, I'm gonna max him out. So I would consider with your spare gear, when you clear Dark Dimension 3 for the second time, you know, put it into Ghost Rider, put it into Black Bolt. I think Black Bolt's still worth bringing up. And Ultron, that's really up to you. I have him at tier 14 because I took him into Dark Dimension 3, but whether or not you want to or not, that's totally up to you. I think I'm still holding out that at some point he's gonna get some red stars, maybe somewhere down the line. But other than that, this is a pretty good roster, and looks like you're set. You're on your way probably to clearing Dark Dimension 3 both times, and there's not really much else I can suggest to you. You got all the right characters that are being raised. If you are looking to, and you know, even your Emma Marauders are probably looking pretty decent. Yeah, it looks like you might need to improve some of your teams just more generally. Like I said, Fantastic Four, Power Armor, these are also going to double for Blitz and War. So consider on widening your roster probably a little bit after you finish Dark Dimension 3 for the second time, and once you've built your Black Order up high enough for the rest of the team. So I think that's all I can really comment on right now, and hopefully this helps. And of course, if you need to clear anything up, then feel free to hit me up on Discord. And for those who are watching, I hope that helped a little bit as well. And of course, if you guys are always interested in getting your own roster review, then feel free to hit me up in Discord. That's the best place to get a hold of me. I'm very contactable there, always on my computer usually at some point or other. So yeah, feel free to get a hold of me there if you're interested in something like this. So that's it for just now, guys, and until next time, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Hoylon signing out.